Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Tuesday, December 20th, 2011. Lot to cover in these markets, so let's get started here. We'll start off with the S&P 500 E-mini futures. You can see that they are trading sharply higher by 13.5 points right now to 1212 spot 25. That's a big move in the markets. 13.5 point move in the futures is definitely a big surge. Markets are rallying higher. Looks like there was some news out of Germany, which was positive economic data saying that Germany is expanding, and looks like the dollar is falling, and that's all it takes. A U.S. dollar index comes down. We know the rest. The markets will trade higher. Here's a chart of the U.S. dollar index right here. You can see the dollar sharply fell overnight around 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and right now it's really just off the lows a little bit ahead of the opening bell. Pretty good decline though, really across the board for the dollar here. If the dollar pulls back, the markets inflate. That's just the way it works. That's the way it goes. And really, the dollar really fell sharply here. So, futures are up this morning. Again, don't want to take anything for granted, and let me explain why. Almost every single day we look, we see the markets gap up, and then they seem to fade throughout the rest of the day. So that always is a possibility that can happen again. While I don't think that would happen today, we cannot rule it out. Even as we get closer to the holidays and the volume gets lighter, it is always possible to see that kind of flip to the downside again. And once the dollar strengthens, that's all it takes. The market will come under pressure. So just about everything out there, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a commodity or whether it's a financial stock. If the dollar strengthens, the markets will come down. So right now, markets are having a good little pop, decent little move higher. You're going to have some economic data in a few minutes at 8:30 in the morning. We'll see how the market reacts to that data. But right now, I think it's just really reacting to the action in the U.S. dollar. If the dollar goes down, the market's inflating, and vice versa. This is a pretty sizable move, so I don't know how much would be left in the tank here without the market pulling back first. But nonetheless, it is still a pretty sizable pop, and we want to respect it in the morning. All right, couple of other things to take a look at. Let's take a look at the GLD. This morning, GLD is trading up to 156.28. Yesterday, the GLD closed at 154.87, so that's a sizable pop higher in the GLD. Pretty good little move there. You have to respect that. Gold is a little bit on the in the short term oversold, but it is trying to make a little bit of a move higher. Spot gold seems to be up around $9-10 at the moment. So a decent little pop there for GLD. Take a look at oil this morning. Oil is trading right around the $36.85 level on the USO. That's the United States Oil Fund ETF. Yesterday it closed at $36.20. So decent little move there. Nothing overly sensational, but it's a decent little pop there for the USO. Spot crude is up, I believe, $1.50 or $1.60 now, right around $95.60 per barrel. So decent little pop there for oil, and again, that's all a dollar trade. The dollar goes down, all the oil in the world is traded in U.S. dollars, and oil will go up when the dollar moves lower. So again, that's a dollar-based trade. If the dollar rallies somehow today, by some chance, I'm not sure if it will, then you could watch for oil to see if it probably will pull back at some point if that does occur. If the dollar continues to move lower today, oil should trade a little bit higher, especially ahead of the heavily travel the holiday season, which is known to be heavily traveled time period, and people will use a lot of oil, a lot of gasoline. The winter season's upon us as well as the winter season causes people to use heating fuel and so forth. Okay, let's take a look here at a couple of different stocks I have on my list today. I'm going to start off with Jeffries. Jeffries is getting a big pop. Pretty good little move. The stock actually has upside potential to around $13 and maybe 25 cents, maybe $13.20, right in that vicinity. This is a good pop. We'll see if it can last. But Jeffries reporting earnings today. Pretty good little surge at the open here. Yesterday the stock did close at $11.80, so that's a decent little pop higher. We'll see if the markets can hold steady and Jeffries could trade up a little bit more. But like I said, I would not really expect much more than just above the 13 level if it does get up there. there should be a lot of resistance around that 1310, 1320, 1325 level. Okay, let's take a look at Deutsche Bank. This is another bank that is catching a big bid off of that positive German economic data. Deutsche Bank is trading nicely higher this morning, closed at 35.07 this morning, trading at 36.67. So that's a move of about $1.50. Good little pop there. Nothing really that I'm seeing here with Deutsche Bank. There's still, a lot of resistance levels above here, so it definitely has some work to do. But it's a nice initial pop there. Be a little bit careful with it. If it gets to around, I'm going to say the 37 area, $37 level. They're 37.20. There's a lot of resistance right in that area. So we'll see how the stock reacts. But nonetheless, it's doing very, very well this morning. We want to respect it. Here's a stock I'm not really that familiar with, but I did see it was moving this morning. It's this Salix Pharmaceuticals. Big, big pop there. I don't know the news, but I will say this, that the daily chart on this stock looked absolutely fantastic. So I don't know what the news was there for the stock, but I will say that it's a very, very nice chart. Just check out what the news is just to make sure it's not a takeover or something. It doesn't look like a takeover. Um, it really just looks like a good, a good move this morning, probably on some positive news, but I'm not sure exactly what it was. Um, Going forward, but it's a very, very nice chart. The daily chart is fine. The stock actually could have more upside, so um, just realize it's a good looking stock on the daily chart, coming out of a nice 2 3 week base, and really upside is around $50, maybe even $52. So it's a real nice chart today. The gap looks strong coming off of a daily chart base. Look at this chart base here on the daily chart. That's pretty nice. Was above all the moving averages. Good little pop there. So stock definitely looks strong today, trading up at this 47.50 level. Normally it doesn't really have all that much volume today. Got a little extra volume on under it, so it actually looks pretty decent. I would not be shorting that name. Here's a ticker symbol GIS. You guys know it. Stock is getting hit this morning. Pretty good little decline there. Does have very, very good support around this area here. I'm looking at my daily chart and I'm saying $38.25. Pretty good support, and also you have real good support around $38. So this could trade down to around $38. It may be, or a pierce of 38. It may be a scalp trade there, a quick scalp trade there. But be a little bit careful with it. Anything that's down in an up market should warrant caution. But either way, stock should have some support around. I'm thinking around that 38, or just a pierce of 38, maybe around $37.90 in that area. So General Mills, everybody knows, a cereal maker, should have pretty good support around that 38 level, at least short term. Okay, if it even gets down there. But I think we're close enough to get down there. So we'll see if they do push it down there one more time. And when I say they, I mean the market makers. Okay, let's take a look at CHTR. Um, Good little pop today. There's not a lot of volume behind here, so you want to really be a little bit careful. But definitely a nice little start to the morning. I'm not going to make too much out of this because there's not enough volume to really talk too much about it. But a good little pop, at least at the open. Here's another one I saw earlier, ABMD. I'm not all that familiar with this name. Um, Looks like this stock, it's really just holding steady, not really doing all that much. I thought it had a little bit more activity this morning, but I'm not really seeing anything that much on it. It was a little bit on my active list, but I'm not really seeing anything. So we'll leave it at that. Again, the financials for the most part are very, very strong. That's what you want to watch and follow closely. If the financials start to give it up, then the market starts to give it up as well. Watch those financials closely as a leading barometer, a leading indicator. Also, keep an eye on gold. If gold starts to roll over, good chance that the markets will begin to roll over as well. With that said, everybody, want you all to have a great trading day, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good morning and a great trading day. See you tomorrow.